Friends, good day. Today I will reveal to you, Adita, one of the largest schemes of tax evasion and unlicensed work that currently exists in the travel industry. Be vigilant. Do not get involved in partnerships with such projects. Watch how it started, how it appeared, and where we are now. I will easily explain all of this to you now. It all started in 2009 when the company Uber was founded. What did Uber do? It made a digital revolution. We have an app. In the app, there is a card on the map. On the card, it says comfort class, and the price is indicated, let's say $20 or $10 for simplicity. Accordingly, people no longer needed to go and hail a cab at the curb or catch a yellow taxi. They pressed the button, which said comfort and $10. What happened legally? Uber invented a system where it creates a new product called a comfort car, which arrives based on geolocation. This had never existed before. It was a revolution. What did it revolutionize? Ordinary, regular yellow taxis. Let's call them yellow cab. Let's draw these checkered patterns. In 2009, Uber threatened the existence of taxis. Uber grew significantly. Over the next 10 years, it became a giant company valued at over $1 billion and present in all countries. And no one knew what to do with it because it was disrupting the taxi market. Until 2018, and 2019 came around. In 2018, for the first time, the judiciary in Europe determined Uber's status and showed that it could not do whatever it wanted. And in 2019, final decisions were made in the European Court, where it was clearly defined who Uber is, what it does, what it can and cannot do. So, mark the year 2019. The European Court makes a decision in Spain. Of course, the Spanish Taxi Association opposed Uber, and they wanted to understand what Uber was doing and why they were doing whatever they wanted. They operate without a license, and you can order any car through the app. What was the decision? The decision was very simple. Whoever determines the price, forms the package, and then assigns the vehicle cannot be considered an information society service. In Europe, information society services traditionally included Airbnb, which by that time had already gone through their court case, TripAdvisor and others. In 2019, the ECJ, European Court of Justice, finally decided that Uber is not an ISS, ISS. I think it's very simple. 10 years of free sailing. No taxes, no licenses, nothing, do whatever you want. There's your disruption. All right, let's move on. Here we figured out that the European Court says, okay, Uber, if you choose the car, then you are a transportation service. Let's sign here. Uber is not an ISS, but a TS, transportation service. This means it must obtain a license, pay taxes, and establish legal entities in each country where it operates. And it essentially acts as an aggregator of taxi companies. The same practice is adopted in Britain. The point is that the ECJ's decision before the UK's exit, before Brexit, was directly applicable in Britain. And after the exit, they have a parallel law that explains roughly the same thing in different words. What does this have to do with the travel industry as a whole? Here's how. The thing is, when young startup entrepreneurs saw a super cool and a popular business project called Uber, which offers comfort and $10 on the app, they thought, wow, this is a brilliant idea. But most of them didn't have the opportunity, resources, or budgets to create an app. After all, an app is expensive. So they created websites similar to Uber. And starting around 2009, a huge number of websites around the world began to be created, where they started to depict Uber on the website. What are they depicting there? The same thing. They write comfort, and the same $10. Is their activity as illegal as Uber's? Answer, yes. In Britain and Europe, according to the ECJ. Decision, the fact that it's a website and not an app makes no difference because it's the same scheme. Then, some evolution occurs. Today, it's already the year 2025. The fact is that large companies, since they have legal departments, they read the laws, they are approached. With retroactive VAT payments, they sort of understand all this. Both Bolt and Lyft, they all operate within, let's call it, a legal framework. But those startups that emerged in 2009, they still haven't understood what happened. And these sites of theirs have grown and continue to grow. There are a lot of them, at least 100 such sites. I'm just talking about major global providers of illegal services in the UK and the European Union, illegal passenger transport services. They don't have licenses and they don't pay VAT. But what has also emerged, and where you can easily become a victim, is when these sites resell services through you. This model is called B2B, 2C. It's when one of these sites calls you and you're a travel agent and says, listen, sell my transfer. It's cheaper than Uber. You don't think, why is it cheaper than Uber? You think, oh, what a great idea. I'll resell something that has economic value and is cheaper than Uber. Thus they tell you, look, we'll give you our technology via API or a widget or in some other way. You can put your logo on top where the color was red. It will be green with your logo, and you can sell services like Uber. And you think, wow, this is a cool idea. My prices under my logo will be cheaper than Uber, right? The same comfort day, because they can't write it any other way. And the same $10. And let's say this was the first part of the deception, when they deceive directly. The second part of the deception is when they deceive through you, and you put your logo, becoming an accomplice in this act. Overall, this is illegal entrepreneurship in different countries. It has different penalties. In France, by the way, it can even lead to criminal prosecution. In 2018, the CEO of Uber faced this. So you resell under your own brand. This is also illegal. The evolution of illegality has not stopped. And this third part appeared, and it became very large.